Bill, Bubbalicious. At this point, we need to see it. We need to see the third leg because, bruh, you mean to tell me wigs are us got down? He was doing that Gawk 3000 on your Bubba.
No. Oh God, no, not the emails. Not the emails that I knew about. We gotta spin it. We've gotta spin it. Okay. He's the dog that didn't bark.
Do y'all think it was spitting or swallowing in this exchange? It confirms that a lot of folks on that goddamn Epstein list, as well as illustrate the political theater that happens between these old adversaries. In public, they can be surreal to each other, but in private, I guess they can be blowing on them.
Look, let me tell you something. Donnie giving Bill Dome in the office is such an insane turn of events. It's so insane because the MAGA fan base, the cult group, is going to say, well, this is so insane. That's why it's so believable.
Of all the things we've discovered and experienced on this horrific timeline, Donald Trump giving Bill Clinton the Gawk 3000 allegedly was not on my radar.
How you doing?
I know that all these emails have been released from the Jeffrey Epstein estate, which has revealed a lot of things. One email in particular said, ask him if Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Bubba referring to our former president, Bill Clinton.
Okay, well, this was really fun.
I mean, to be fair, Donald Trump's favorite dance is jerking off ghosts in public and playing the YMCA, which is America's gay theme song. So the two that are absolutes to each other in public can be tugging on each other's in private.
Wow.
This just tells us America in this current timeline is the worst telenovela. It's not even a telenovela anymore. We've surpassed that. We are now in a Tubi film. What do you mean? What was going on at Jeffrey Epstein's house, Island Plain estate? What was going on? And honestly, I don't care who's in these files. Based on these little tidbits and breadcrumbs we're getting from these emails, I would literally like all the files to be released. I don't care if every Democrat's on it. I don't care if everyone I've ever looked up to is on it. I don't care if Obama's on it. Release the Epstein files because we need to see what the has been going on with these weirdos. You guys are public foes, but you're bro job bros. Peace out. Peace out, America.
Bill, Bubbalicious. At this point, we need to see it. We need to see the third leg because, bruh, you mean to tell me wigs are us got down? He was doing that Gawk 3000 on your Bubba. I knew Hillary wasn't just mad about Monica. It couldn't have been just Monica. No wonder wigs are us like strong men like Putin. Putin's a great guy. He's amazing. He'll want these files to come out, y'all. He gonna pass it in the House and the Senate. It's gonna go to him, and he gonna veto. And you know how many goddamn votes it's gonna take to override that veto? 6-7. Doo-doo. 6-7 doo-doo. No wonder he's gotta wear diapers now. He's had too much going through there. It is fluid. I promise you these emails are the gift that keeps giving. Like I said in my previous video, Jeffrey, you are giving us W's from the grave. I know he's sitting down there with the devil talking about, yep, I told y'all. Kamala, Barack, and Biden are both having a good ass cackle right now. I know they're in a corner somewhere laughing they fucking asses off. This boy ain't never gonna have a good presidency. Not the sloppy toffee.
Hey, Dirty Donnie. How did Bubba taste? This will make more sense in a few days, don't worry.
Hold up, we can't just roll past this email. Let me get this straight. According to the emails, Bill got Kurt by Donnie? Wow.
I have been trying to talk about this story for a very long time now.
And this is, well, perhaps we're getting close to the smoking gun. These two men, Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, had the closest of relationships for more than a decade. They shared everything. They shared their airplanes. They shared women between them. They shared constantly business and financial advice. You know, it's curious that Epstein's relationship with so many people in public life has damaged them considerably. But the one person who he was closest to has not been held accountable. That's Donald Trump.
Do y'all think it was spitting or swallowing in this exchange? For context, we're talking about this email that was just leaked from Epstein. It says, ask him if Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Bubba being referred to as William Blow It Bill Clinton. This definitely confirms that a lot of folks on that goddamn Epstein list, as well as illustrate the political theater that happens between these old adversaries. In public, they can be some dicks to each other, but in private, I guess they can be blowing on them. Ask him if Putin has photos of blowing Bubba. At this point, America is like a failing reality TV show, and they just throwing a whole bunch of shit trying to keep the viewers up because what the hell going on? Now, could Epstein be using satire and talking euphemisms? Maybe. Could he also be talking literally? Maybe. And maybe this going too far, but I wonder who Bill felt like did it better. Monica, Donald, or Hillary? Can we all agree it's a bunch of celebrities and politicians that shake it in their boots because they know they on them goddamn list, don't they?
It's about 10:45 p.m. I took several hours off from the app. I went into the city, had dinner with some friends and coworkers who are only going to be my coworkers for about another week. We have our big lawyer convention in San Francisco this weekend, and we always go out to dinner at Tadich Grill on Thursday night before that starts. It's kind of a tradition. We had a great time, had a wonderful evening. I just got home about 15 minutes ago, and I open up the app, and I start seeing TikToks about an email exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother, where Jeffrey Epstein's brother asked him if Putin had photos from that one time when Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton moral pleasure. And so now I have that visual in my mind of Donald Trump going down on Bill Clinton. That I really have to say, that was not how I was expecting to end my evening. I thought I had capped off my evening with the Tadich Grill's wonderful cheesecake with whipped cream on top. It was so good, so good. But no. I had to come home and walk in my front door and open up TikTok. And then I almost immediately had to learn that there was at least one occasion where Donald Trump gave Bill a blowjob, and somebody took photos of that. And Jeffrey Epstein's brother asked Jeffrey Epstein if Vladimir Putin has copies of those photos of Donald Trump giving Bill Clinton a blowjob. All of these men, all of them, Bill Clinton included, all of them are just perverts. They are just perverts with money and power. They're just men who happen to gain money and power, who at their core are just flat out perverts. Every single one of them. They're just perverts.
What do you mean Trump gave Bill Clinton a job? What do you mean? What do you mean there are photos? There are photos that Putin has. What do you mean? I don't ever want to see those photos. Okay. And why is Bill Clinton's third leg in everybody's mouth but Hillary's? In fact, don't answer that question.
Look, let me tell you something. Donnie giving Bill dome in the office is such an insane turn of events. It's so insane because the MAGA fan base, the cult group, is going to say, well, this is so insane. That's why it's so believable. Because why the fuck would Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark sit in an email about, like, talking about if Putin had the images of the president at the time, which was Donald Trump, knowing Bubba, who was Bill Clinton? And if Bubba isn't Bill Clinton, who was Bubba? But as of right now, we're standing on this hill. MAGA, please explain. Those aren't doctored emails. Your administration is not denying that they're doctored. They're just saying they're releasing them to shame him. So if that's the case, that means there's some admittance that these emails are real. Why would a known deviant be in a conversation with his own blood biological brother about you sucking Peter Wacker? They didn't know that these were going to get it. They didn't know. What's up with Bill always getting hit? Like, what?
100%. This has everything to do with the fact that Kankles ran beauty pageants. He was definitely trafficking women. 100%. We all know it.
Mike Johnson just went on Fox News and proudly declared that Trump had nothing to do with Epstein and that the Democrats only care about this case because we have Trump derangement syndrome. Watch this clip and notice how he can't offer us any facts, evidence, or a real defense.
They're trying to attack the president. They're trying to manufacture some sort of hoax that he had something to do with Epstein, and it is absurd. They don't care about that. They care about going after Donald Trump because they have Trump derangement syndrome. It's very real.
It's very telling that the Speaker of the House is this emotional, this frantic, and this defensive about Epstein's own emails. If the evidence proves Trump had nothing to do with Epstein, then why is Mike Johnson melting down on Fox News calling the entire case a hoax? We know it's not a hoax. Innocent people welcome the truth. They don't scream at it. That's why Trump looks very guilty right now. Their entire argument falls apart immediately when you look at the evidence. These aren't Democrat hoaxes. These are Epstein's own emails written years ago, never meant to be seen by the public, never meant to be political. And he said in these emails that he has compromising evidence of Trump and could, quote, take him down. That's not a hoax. That's a confession from one of Trump's best friends that he called a terrific guy. It's also hilarious that Mike Johnson is pretending people are obsessed with Trump. That's not the case at all. We're just a little bit concerned about how close our president was to a confirmed trafficker. If Trump really had nothing to hide, he wouldn't have to lie all the time to cover for himself. He would release the full Epstein files and let the truth speak for itself.
No. Fuck. Oh God, no, not the emails. Not the emails that I knew about. Fuck, we gotta spin it. We've gotta spin it. Okay, he's the dog that didn't bark. Okay, no, because he purrs like a kitten. No, that sounds horrible. Oh my God, how illegal are all the lies that I told? I know I'm the United States Attorney General, but I was hired under Trump's meritocracy plan, not DEI. I don't fucking know. Oh God, he spent hours with her at his home. No, okay. We say that he was tutoring her. He was teaching her the art of the deal. Oh God, teaching a trafficked child the art of a deal? That's even stupid for you, Pam. Oh, we're so...
When the files come out, they're going to be far worse than anything you've ever imagined in your entire life. It's horrific enough to have them give us this kind of narrative that it's young girls and trafficking. And I think that is literally the distraction, because in the 9 stages of horrific shit you could do to humans, that would be upper level, right? And I think you're going to find out that it's bestiality, snuff, dismemberment, and cannibalism. And I don't think that's hyperbolic to say that at all. You know, this article recently came out where rich Italians during the Serbian war were performing a level of sniper tourism where they would go shoot children. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. The thing is, Hollywood does a great job when it wants with certain films to express things openly, because it creates this kind of deniability, right? And the entire X-Files series was based off of this, right? So anytime that you wanted to talk about something that would be falling like the woo-woo category, mysticism, whatever, right? It would be like, that's just something from the X-Files. And it immediately shut off the ability to have a discussion. You see what I mean? You can see this with the rich power elite who are psychopaths. They're not sociopaths, they're psychopaths, right? And this is a great expression of their psychopathology and their desire to, people, which, obviously expressed here and here, right? Where the rich are basically exploiting the poor for fun. But then we have very well-crafted and well-produced and well-written series like this, where, if you remember, the serial killer was being used by the rich politicians of that state. Do you know what I'm saying? So the base foundation is that there was a secret cabal behind that serial killer, right? This is a 1999 film, and I'm telling you, if there wasn't a film created to express this more clearly, it's this one. A rich oligarchical wife, husband dies. She goes into the safe and finds a snuff film that she's pretty certain he purchased for his entertainment, and she hires Nicolas Cage as a private detective to find that. She wants to make some type of reparation. Sidebar, Peter Straymore, who was Constantine, the devil in Constantine, plays a snuff movie manufacturer in here, like director. It is the most disturbing role, and this film is almost too disturbing to watch because, again, I think it touches on these kind of truths, right, that we've seen here expressed, by this, right? Eyes Wide Shut. I mean, Kubrick, of all people, his final film, nothing to me confirms that he's speaking the truth, that there is a rich cabal elite core doing fucked up shit to people than this, because he died right after it, and he wasn't that old, right? And his death is somewhat mysterious. So it seems to me that the power elite, okay, the power elite, its main game, and the Files guy was a tool by the power elite to create situations where they could extort and blackmail people. And if you want to see this, is best expressed by John Fetterman. Like, I think he showed up as this working man Democrat, and he got in there, and then suddenly he becomes an alcoholic. And have you seen him on the bench in the park where they're like trying to talk to him, and he's just freaking out? Like, this guy literally is being pulled in front of our eyes. Okay, even his most recent interviews, I just that guy looks like they're extorting something. They've got something on him, and I think that's what this entire system about. The power elite and the politicians extort and blackmail everyone.
It's about 3:30 in the morning on Friday. With this latest email that came out, I just Jeffrey Epstein's brother emailed him, was asking him if Putin still had photos of Trump bling Bubba, Bill Clinton. And watching the MAGA reaction is quite something. They seem to be totally fine with Donald Trump being accused of having with teenage girls. I think because they all desperately want to have teenage girls. And for them, that is something to be admired or envied, as opposed to treated properly, I guess. But if you even imply that Donald Trump is even a little bit gay, that's a bridge too far for them, for the MAGA men, the same guys that crashed Grindr in Milwaukee when they all descended for the Republican National Convention in the summer of 2024. The same guys that almost crashed Grindr when they flew into Phoenix earlier this year for a funeral. When they flew into Phoenix for Charlie Kirk's funeral. It's like, how do these guys even, like, who ties their shoes in the morning, man? It's like, how do they function on a day-to-day basis with their brains being as pickled as they are? They secretly and not so secretly admire Donald Trump for having unfettered access to teenage girls and doing whatever he wants to do with them. He got sued by one of them, Katie Johnson. She had corroborating witness statements. But I mean, then there's like the flip side. I'm desperate for more information about context, how it came to pass that Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a Hummer, allegedly. What time of day was it? Where were they? Was anybody else there? Was there some type of a party going on? Because apparently there were photos, and apparently Vladimir Putin has copies of the photos. How did they arrive at a point in time where Bill Clinton is sitting there getting a Hummer from Donald Trump? And what was going through Bill Clinton's mind when that was happening? Huh? Huh? But don't you dare accuse Donald Trump of being even a little bit gay. Because Billy Bob and Cletus are going to live, even though they're the same guys that crashed Grindr in Milwaukee. I am so over this timeline. I am so over this timeline. Everything is just so absurd and destructive and harmful and ridiculous? The absurdity of all of this. The absurdity of all of this. And it's like, you know, the White House is threatening Republicans in the House and the Senate in order to force them to vote no on the discharge petition so that this administration can continue to conceal the Epstein files, which apparently completely and totally exonerate Donald Trump. Excuse me, but we're not going to release them. The files would show that he is completely innocent, but we're not going to release them, and we're going to threaten anybody who votes to release them. And as I asked in my last video, it's like, where the fuck were Joe Biden and Merrick Garland on this for the entire 4 years that Joe Biden was president? Because from where I'm sitting now, it doesn't look like Merrick Garland continued any investigation into Jeffrey Epstein or his co-conspirators at all. Like, did literally nothing. Literally nothing. But what do you think was going through Bill Clinton's mind while he was getting a Hummer from Donald Trump? And who else was there? Who took the photo?
I'm seeing an awful lot of videos on here right now where everyone's like, oh my God, Donald Trump hasn't posted on Truth Social in almost 24 hours. Yeah, that's because his handlers probably took his phone away. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's because I can promise you behind the scenes that White House is absolute chaos, trying to figure out how they're going to spin doctor this one, trying to figure out what they're going to feed their base, because I believe wholeheartedly that even the cult members have a line on this one, and that terrifies them. And we're just going to have to stay tuned, like truly. I'm starting to see some defense pop up in the form of like Megyn Kelly and some others for PDF files. So prepare yourself for that if that is the kind of thing that is triggering to you, which I mean, I don't even imagine anyone in this planet who that wouldn't be triggering to. This is going to get interesting for sure. All I want for Christmas is truly a vote on the floor where I can specifically name who the shitty human beings are in Congress. I mean, I have a pretty good idea, but I want it on the record.